I'm so glad we could all get together for Thanksgiving. But before we go and get the food, I want to go around the table and I want everyone to say what they're thankful for. What about you? What are you thankful for? I am so thankful for my friends, my family, my loved ones, for God, for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Oh, isn't that sweet? I'm gonna go vomit. I wasn't finished. What about you? What are you thankful for?
I am thankful for America.
What have I told you about punching the table? What about you? What are you thankful for? Assassination! Ow, ow, ow. Okay.
I won't lie. That shit slaps.
I just have one question for you. Are you here for the resurrection? Jesus, that was cringe. By the way, for context, I'm filming this on Thanksgiving, so I didn't just throw that skit together for no reason. I thought it would work as the intro to this video, kind of. One thing I'm thankful for? We finally have something to listen to. It's been a dry spout for a little while, but my boy Marilyn Manson came through for us. Oh, and speaking of that CD, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1, it also came in the mail with this amazing Marilyn Manson jacket to add to my collection. I'm very proud of my collection of Manson things. Oh, and I recently got this from Displate, and it looks awesome. This is not a Displate ad, by the way. But if Displate or any other company would like to get into bed with me, well, my bed is right here. So, I'm waiting, poor and horny.
Wow, thanks for sharing.
I am gonna unzip though, it's getting a little toasty. Want to be comfortable when I'm recording a review. Screw it, I'm taking it off, it's too hot. I'll wear this outside. And one more thing before I get into the review proper, I do want to point out that I joined Rumble. You can see it here and it's in the description. I did a first live initial reaction to the album that you can go watch if you would like, and if you would follow me on Rumble, that would be great. Okay, with all the preamble out of the way, it's time to talk about Marilyn Manson's return album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. My overall opinion of this album, oh my god, it's fantastic. I love it so much. I've listened to it at least 15 times. Get it? Because it's Marilyn Manson's favorite number. My favorite number is 17, but it's mostly because of this guy. Yes, I know none of you asked or cared. Shut up. To say that this album is a glorious return to form for the Antichrist superstar is an understatement. This is the best Marilyn Manson has sounded in many years. As much as I love 2020's We Are Chaos and consider it to be an underrated masterpiece, I honestly think One Assassination Under God Chapter 1 is superior. From beginning to end, I was hooked. Not one song on here for me is a skip, and I genuinely have a hard time imagining just picking out one song and just listening to it without wanting to go through the entire album again. With the singles released leading up to the album, I figured it would be good, but damn, I was not expecting to be rendered speechless after my first listen. Is this my favorite Manson album? No. Mechanical Animals and Hollywood are still the pinnacle in my opinion, but this is a close third for me, just barely edging out We Are Chaos and Antichrist Superstar. But one thing about this album that I adore and appreciate more than anything else, it is the most mature and wise that Manson has ever sounded. I may be a huge fan of this guy, but I have no problem saying that some of his earlier work, like on Golden Age of Grotesque or Heaven Upside Down, in my opinion, comes off as juvenile and childish at times. Jesus Crisis and Kaboom Kaboom have never, ever not made me cringe so hard that you could stick a lump of coal up my anus and pull out a f***ing diamond. But this album strips all of that away. Dude, there's barely any swearing in this album, which is damn near sacrilegious, considering who I am discussing. This album is focused and has no excess or filler. Manson has a message and a point to prove. Distraction and self-indulgence be damned. So let's jump right into this bad boy, kicking things off with the opening title track, One Assassination Under God. Before I get into the song itself, first I want to gush about this utterly magnificent music video. Holy shit!
Shut up and take my money!
This is pure, unadulterated cinema. I want every single frame of this music video in portraits all over my wall while I conceive offspring. The symbolism throughout is fantastic as well. Am I the only one who sees this shot and doesn't see this scene from the movie The Prophecy where Viggo Mortensen gives a masterful portrayal of Lucifer? How about Manson sitting in the same exact car that he drove off a cliff in with this slanderous evil whore in the music video for the worst single Manson has ever produced? But perhaps my favorite piece of imagery from this music video is this shot with Manson and the goat on the leash. This is absolutely my own interpretation, but to me, considering that some of the songs on this album are about Manson introspectively confronting his own flaws, and the fact that goats are often used to represent Satan, in my opinion, this is Manson implying that he has his demons under control. And I respect the hell out of that. As for the song itself, it's an incredible opener and one of the best opening tracks Manson has ever done. It starts off sounding like a creepy wedding mixed with a funeral procession, and slow burns into the ultimate crescendo that feels like the veil has been lifted, revealing a brand new age for Manson and his band. It's a masterclass in build-up and payoff, and oh my god, the guitars near the end are orgasmic. Lyrically, this song is a brilliant and scathing critique of cancel culture, describing those who celebrate the canceling of their enemies yet hide behind social media as they cast stones and screech endlessly about their perceived virtue. Manson himself experienced this phenomenon firsthand, being tarred and feathered by feminist sycophants and ideological zealots who froth at the mouth at the opportunity to take down a successful man, sacrificing him to the altar of believe all women. As Manson says, it's not a sacrifice. It's an assassination that increases the perception of social standing among those who are prisoners of their own misandrist echo chambers. Long story short, this opening track is a beautiful and intelligent middle finger to the perpetually offended, which elicits an endless amount of thumbs up from yours truly. A wonderful opening song, one of my favorites on the entire album. Other songs on this album feel like an assortment of homages, references, and nods to previous albums. The second track, No Funeral Without Applause, if you slip that into Eat Me, Drink Me, no one would notice. It sounds just like it. Even the title of the song is a bit of a callback to Manson referring to My Chemical Romance as rebels without applause in the song Mutilation is the Most Sincere Form of Flattery, which always makes me chuckle as Manson is just a savant as it pertains to wordplay. Other tracks like Death Is Not a Costume and Meet Me in Purgatory have a bluesy vibe akin to the overall sound and feel of The Pale Emperor, and Not If You Understand sounds like an unreleased track from Born Villain that would boost the overall quality of that album tremendously. Some people have criticized this album for feeling like a random assortment of sounds from previous albums, but I honestly think it's a huge positive for the album. These songs are a mixture of Eat Me, Drink Me, Born Villain, Pale Emperor, Heaven Upside Down, but better. They are more polished, refined, and coherent. While sounding similar to previous albums, these songs totally fit together as a unit and don't feel alien to one another. Eat Me, Drink Me sounds nothing like Born Villain, which sounds nothing like Pale Emperor. But these songs simultaneously sound like these separate albums and extensions of one another. And that is impressive. It sounds impossible to pull off, but Manson did it and did it extremely well. Also, Not If You Understand is an absolute banger. While the title track is a sophisticated critique of cancel culture, Not If You Understand is an enraged lobbing of a grenade at those who shunned him. It is certifiably insane, and I love it. However, I do think that Front Towards Enemy, which is essentially the same song, is a better version of the song, and part of me wishes that it was on the album instead. I really love the metallic clanging of Front Toward Enemy, but Nod is not a miss by any stretch of the imagination. I love both songs. Hopefully Front Toward Enemy will be on Chapter 2, but we'll see. I also love the overall message of Meet Me in Purgatory, which is essentially Manson acknowledging all those who did not abandon him. Confronting liars is one thing, but speaking to those who stood by you is another. Never in my life did I expect to receive a thank you song from Marilyn Manson of all people, but I love it. And the song kicks ass, so that's a plus as well. As Sick as the Secrets Within, the lead single, is my favorite song on the entire album, and the best song Manson has done in maybe 20 years. I adore this song. It's so unique and modern sounding in a good way, and the lyrics are a necessary yet tragic confrontation of Manson's own inner demons. And the accompanying music video is a treat for the eyes, and it is layered with rich symbolism. As a 27-year-old who abstains from all alcohol, smoking, drugs, vaping, etc., I am beyond ecstatic to have an anti-addiction anthem from my favorite artist. Mechanical Animals, by and large, is an anti-drug PSA in album form, so this isn't the first time Manson has done something like this. However, Mechanical Animals is a more abstract, metaphorical, and conceptual commentary on drug abuse, whereas Secrets is a more direct and candid warning. Both are effective and much appreciated. Raise the Red Flag is also fantastic, as it is a bold refusal to simply lay down and let those who hate you smear you, which plays into the album's overarching anti-cancel culture stance. It's a mix of the title track's more poised critique, with flashes of Nod If You Understand's explosive anger. And then we have Sacrilegious, which is the most spooky kid Portrait of an American Family feeling song that Manson has done in a long-ass time. Musically, it doesn't sound like the Spooky Kids, but it is absolutely dripping with that feeling of a dark yet gleeful silliness. It's intentionally cheesy, which is what Portrait of an American Family was. Angry, but goofy in its anger. Forgive me for this tangent, but I've been rewatching The Mentalist as of late, and I am simply unable to stop thinking of Patrick Jane whenever I hear Sacrilegious. It's the way this hyper-intelligent crime fighter who wants to murder the man who killed his family is also a mischievous goober who really should have been tested for ADHD. That same dark and brooding, yet fun and playful contradiction is full-blown in Sacrilegious, and I love it. Also, it is essentially Manson saying, your cancellation of me failed, and I'm going to do what I love out of spite with a smile on my face. This song is so petty, and I adore it. And then we close with a tearjerker, the soul-destroying Sacrifice of the Mass. God, this song is perfect. Just perfect. The lone guitar string plucks that bookend the song, Manson absolutely pouring his heart out as he references the passing of his parents, the immaculate guitar solo, just everything, man. This is Man That You Fear, Into the Fire, and Broken Needle all rolled into one magnum opus. I was literally rendered speechless at the end. And that does not happen to me very often, as I can never shut the fuck up. All in all, One Assassination Under God Chapter 1 is Marilyn Manson's triumphant return, and I am just so privileged to have been able to witness it. Now, as much as I've been singing this album's praises, and basically saying this is magnificent, it's amazing, if you're a Manson fan and you haven't listened to it yet, you're insane, I will say it's not perfect. It is not perfect. I still think Mechanical Animals and Hollywood are better. I do have two critiques of this album. They're nothing major, nothing deal-breaking. Essentially, there's a vocal effect that is used a lot throughout the album, and specifically during parts of Raise the Red Flag, it kind of sounds like auto-tune just out the wazoo, and I don't really care for it that much. It doesn't ruin the song for me, but it's kind of noticeable, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So I wasn't super crazy about that. And it's only 9 songs. It's 43 minutes long. It's blink and you miss it. But again, this is chapter 1, so the only thing this is guilty of is making me want more, which, hey, that's the trick of any kind of entertainment business. Leave them wanting more, and I do, in fact, want more. Give it to me. I need it, please. So that is my review of One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1 by Marilyn Manson. He's back! I feel like Agent Stone in the trailer for Sonic 2. He's back! Oh, it made me so happy. And yes, whenever Chapter 2 drops, I will do another video like this, giving my thoughts and reviewing the album as a whole. And we haven't pinned down a time yet, but me and Sean of the Core Martial Podcast, the Colonial Impact Wrestling, and Super Jam Session version 2, we are planning on doing a podcast review of this album like we did with Mechanical Animals. Again, links to all of this will be in the description. If you haven't seen our discussion of Mechanical Animals, I do advise you go over to Super Jam Session version 2 and give that a listen. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I'm so happy for this. Oh, and I didn't mention this yet. This came out on November 22nd, the day after my birthday. So that was one hell of a late birthday present. But yeah, it was a fantastic album. I loved it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And yes, I will be reviewing Chapter 2 soon after it drops, whenever the hell that may be. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. And see you guys next time.
I am thankful for America.